You have never experienced reality directly, not once. Everything you have ever seen, heard, remembered, feared, loved, or believed has reached you through a biological filter, a reconstruction built inside your mind. The world feels immediate, solid, and obvious. But what you call reality is not reality itself. It is a model, a translation, a survival interface, and that distinction changes everything. We like to imagine that our senses show us the world as it is. Open your eyes, and there it is. Color, shape, motion, distance, meaning. But the brain is not a passive camera receiving neutral information. It is an active editor, constantly selecting, simplifying, predicting, and inventing. It takes in incomplete data and turns it into a coherent story fast enough to keep you alive. What you see is not raw truth. It is your brain's best guess. Take vision. It feels like a seamless window into the world, but it isn't. Your eyes only detect a narrow band of the electromagnetic spectrum. The universe is flooded with wavelengths you cannot perceive. Infrared, ultraviolet, radio, X-rays. Even within the tiny slice you can detect, your brain fills in blind spots, smooths over interruptions, stabilizes motion, and constructs a stable image from fragments. You do not see everything. You see what your mind decides matters. Color is another illusion of sorts. It feels like an objective property of the world, as if redness exists out there in the same way a rock or a tree exists. But color is the brain's interpretation of light frequencies. The world itself is not painted. Your mind paints it. The same is true for sound. Air vibrates. Your brain turns those vibrations into music, language, warning, beauty. What you experience is not reality in its pure form. It is reality converted into something useful for a human nervous system. And then there is time. Time feels steady when measured by clocks, but human time is anything but steady. A few seconds of fear can feel stretched into an eternity. Entire years can vanish in memory, blurred into a single emotional impression. Childhood summers once felt endless. Adulthood moves in acceleration. Nothing about your lived experience of time is truly fixed. It bends with attention, novelty, emotion, and age. So even your sense of passing through reality is unstable. Memory, too, is less reliable than we want to believe. We often treat memory like a recording, a mental archive we can revisit to retrieve the past. But memory is not replayed. It is reconstructed. Every time you remember something, you are rebuilding it. Details shift. Emotions seep in, gaps are filled, meanings are updated. In some cases, people can become deeply certain of events that never happened, or remember real events in ways that are profoundly distorted. This means your past is not simply stored, it is continually rewritten. Attention makes the picture even stranger. At any given moment, an overwhelming amount of information surrounds you. Sounds, colors, movements, textures, patterns, faces, threats, opportunities. If your mind processed all of it equally, you would be paralyzed. So the brain filters aggressively. It lets most of reality fall away. This is useful, but it comes with a cost. What you ignore might as well not exist. You don't just miss details, you miss entire worlds. This is why people can fail to notice obvious changes right in front of them. Why two people can witness the same event and come away with different truths. Why emotion can overpower evidence. Why fear can turn ambiguity into danger and desire can turn fantasy into certainty. The human mind is not a truth machine, it is a survival machine. That may be the most important point of all. Evolution did not shape the brain to perceive objective reality with perfect clarity. It shaped the brain to keep organisms alive long enough to reproduce. Those are not the same goal. Sometimes accuracy helps survival, but often speed, simplicity, and pattern recognition matter more. It is better, from an evolutionary standpoint, to mistake a shadow for a predator than to mistake a predator for a shadow. Natural selection rewards usefulness, not philosophical precision. And that raises a deeper question. If our experience of the world is filtered through perception, limited by biology, distorted by memory, narrowed by attention, and shaped by survival, then what exactly can we know? Maybe reality, as it truly is, lies forever beyond direct human access. Maybe what we call the world is only a user interface, a simplified layer that lets us navigate forces far stranger than we can naturally comprehend. Our minds may be like tiny lanterns moving through an immeasurable darkness, illuminating just enough to keep going, but never enough to see the whole. And yet, there is something remarkable about that. Because even if the human mind was not built to perceive reality perfectly, it was built to question it, to test appearances, to doubt instincts, to build science, philosophy, mathematics, art, and instruments that reach beyond the senses. We may never escape our own limitations entirely, but we can become aware of them. And that awareness is its own kind of power. The world you experience is not the world in its pure form. It is edited, interpreted, translated. But perhaps the most human thing of all is that we keep searching anyway. So the next time you trust your eyes, your memory, or your intuition, ask yourself, am I seeing reality, or only the version my mind was built to survive? And if the mind is only an interface, what do you think lies behind it? If you want more videos exploring science, philosophy, consciousness, and the hidden mechanisms behind existence, subscribe to World Engine.